Alright, we're going to be on HALOOOF, guys, in the LT432, and we're running this vehicle with CVS in the scouting slot, optics, and then I like to run modified configuration on the LT432. Most games in the LT432, I'm going to emphasize this to you guys, you really want to run modified configuration on this tank if you don't want to risk, obviously, getting burned alive, because this vehicle cooks like no other. I'm telling you guys, even Skill for LTU has recommended this. Like, just run the modified configuration. Swap it out for low noise exhaust, guys. You're probably going to be better off. Trust me. This tank burns. It is a matchbox, man. Like, I swear, every few times you get hit in this vehicle, you are burning. So try the modified configuration. I think you will be better off playing the LT432. But in any case, we're going to be on the, what is this, the northeast spawn of HALOOOF. This is where I like to go, guys. I've showed this area many times. We're getting a shot into the Centurion. I believe it went through this little tree or bush here, so we actually didn't even get spotted taking it, which is nice. And now we can continue poking up here, and you'll see, I believe I spotted like a TVP here or something. Yeah, TVP. And this guy immediately starts looking at me, so I know that I was spotted. It probably isn't from the TVP, given my concealment. It's probably like the Batchat 12T that was coming in through here or something like that that lit me. But we're able to get a shot into this guy as well. We're off to a good start. Two shots of damage, 419 assists. And I like to stay up here as long as I possibly can, guys. You have an advantage on the northeast spawn where you can actually spot people by staying up on this ridgeline, and I prefer to do this rather than go into this middle ditch area because HALOOOF, man, I do not like this middle ditch area at all. I feel like this map, the only important squares of this map are A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. This is what I feel is the vital part of the map, and usually whoever wins this area is likely going to win the game. That's what I find, but I've seen weird things happen before where you can kind of make this middle area work. It's just very risky, it's very aggressive, and once you're out there, you cannot get away. That's the problem with this middle area of the map, is that once you go down here, that's your game, man. So I try to make things work out here, but ultimately I end up coming down here because I just can't get anything more from here. And as a light tank player, like, you have to eventually at least try to spot, right? Like, you can't stay up here forever. Progetto 46 is actually going to YOLO down here, and this is actually a good play on his part because he ends up giving me a good amount of information about who's up here or the lack of people up here, right? And then we're kind of able to advance, and you'll see where we end up getting into the enemy base. Now, I'm trying to eventually spot this Batchat 12T. I think this guy is here. I'm looking for shots at the CS52 list. I'm trying to do anything I can without like making risky plays yet, right? Without getting too aggressive. Like, I'm trying to just kind of pick away at something. Like, maybe I can spot someone in this bush just barely and then come back down, you know? And we like the TVP. And this is my goal. This is what I'm trying to do, like, just a tiny bit at a time, because this freaking portion of the map is just so dangerous, man. So we light the 12T, kind of get him out of his place, and then the TVP gets lit as well, and this guy has to pull back. 12T is getting hit by someone, and now he's relit again by the Progetto, and now this guy's going to be in trouble. So eventually, once I see him kind of YOLOing off to maybe fight the Progetto or just find a safe place, I'm going to start going after him. This is what I want to do, and this guy is really in trouble here. From where the Progetto is, like, this is his team's fault, man. They didn't put, like, anyone here to kind of counter this. They kind of had the TVP here. We cleaned up, who was it, the Centurion, but no one adjusted to this on the map, so they left the Batchat 12T out here to die. And this is the example that I'm bringing you guys, is not just from my perspective, but imagine being the 12T in this scenario, this situation. It's like, how mad would you be, right? Like, you can't do anything, man. The entire enemy team is swarming you. You're stuck in this ditch. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide, and you end up dying. And that's why I'm bringing you guys this specific video, because HALOOOF, man, this middle area is just garbage. I wish Wargaming would do something with it, and you know, I honestly believe, like, this is supposed to be a brawling sector. Maybe on the RU server it's played differently, and there's mediums and heavies that actually come out here, like brawling tank destroyers or whatever, like all those types of vehicles that come out here and actually brawl for this area of the map. Because I swear that's how it's supposed to be. I find that when the enemy brings a couple of mediums down here or something, usually you lose this area very quickly. right? Because you're just so open out here. Tank destroyers will get shots on you, and if the tank destroyers don't have shots on you, then you have mediums that are kind of like going hull down and poking you, and you can't do anything about it. So I truly believe that that's also supposed to be a brawling area or something like that, not this like TD, light tank go spot fire zone. But that's what it is on the NA server, and that's what it's been on the NA server. And again, the Batchat 12T, because he went out there, basically paid for it with his life, right? There's no way for him to run away from there. Progetto has him flanked, and even if the Progetto wasn't there, we would have spotted him trying to run away, and then when you run away, you're obviously going way slower up the hill. It's much easier shots for the enemy, right? So this is how I feel about the middle zone, guys. I hope you agree and can at least understand what I'm saying if you slightly disagree, but that's how I feel about it. So we're able to get shots into the M40 here, or was it the M53? No, this is like a tier 8 game, so M40-43, right? We clean him up, and now there's a Ferdinand and a Batchat sitting right here. And I want to try and spot these guys. It's just a little risky because I don't want to get whacked by Artie and a Ferdy, right? So I'm going to approach it kind of carefully, and what I realize is that these guys, if I'm not spotting them here, they're likely sitting like right here. They're sitting way back, like in the middle behind this rock from my perspective, right? They're sitting way back here, and likely they are pointing at people that are over here. Like, I don't think they're as concerned with the Progetto, but they might also be, because the Progetto got shot here, right? The Progetto lost some HP, and I guess it could have been the Ferdinand. But the thing is, when you're this close, guys, with CVS, you're going to spot people through these bushes. And if I'm not spotting them, this is kind of, I don't know if this even needs to be explained, but I'm going to explain it because you guys know how I am. I'm using process of elimination to literally determine exactly where these guys are sitting behind this rock. So I know they're not poking this bush, and I know they're not poking this bush from my perspective. But the problem with this is, like, if I'm going to spot these guys, that means I'm going to have to expose myself to them, And I'm not able to spot like the corner of their tank right quickly on the ridgeline because they're playing it very defensively, and they're sitting way back like in the middle from my vantage point, right? I hope that makes sense and it's not just like rambling, but you can see as I come down here, now I'm spotting them, right? For some reason, these guys don't light me. I don't know how, but they don't light me here, probably because they're sitting back too far in the bush or something. And now we can progress here. I use this rock to kind of, this is really, like, I'm really explaining this in detail, but I feel like this is important. I'm now using this rock to put my tank in between them and my tank, right? So I use this rock, and then what I'm going to do is just go and push the Su-130 and the CS and all that and help these guys out over here. Because of where these guys are behind the rock, they're not an immediate threat to me. I'm not even going to bother with these guys. Like, just let them sit back there, man. We'll take the ABC 1, 2, 3, and then we'll swing back around. So I'm going to hit the Su here. I'm trying to get another shot into this guy. I'm able to do so, and now one more shot, and I'm trying not to get hit, right? I'm trying to like poke him and maybe try and bait a shot, basically, right? But he ends up hitting me in the turret there. The Su-130 is obviously going to pen through the turret, right? So I'm not sure exactly where that one hit. Yeah, it literally went right through the top of the turret there. And now we're going to go after the CS-52 list. I'm just going to start using my HP, man. Like if the Ferdinand wants to hide that in that area behind the rock, like that specific location, then I'm just going to continue advancing, right? And I know I've talked like heavily about where people sit behind a certain area, but sometimes it's important to know that, like, if they're poking you, then you're going to be more concerned. You're not going to want to run down here like this, right? But what you can do is, if someone does that, just find something else to do, right? Don't go face to face with a Ferdinand. I know the Progetto was here, but I'm not going to try and like flank around these guys and risk the Progetto being on a reload or something like that. Like, screw it, man. Let me just go help the heavies and the TS5 and like these people over here, and then I'll cut back and we'll go back to the base, right? Because I'm just not concerned about this right now. I'm not concerned about people that are kind of hiding here, right? I want to go help other people out and keep myself moving and keep myself in the game, so that's what I decided to do, right? But anyway, depending on where people are going to be sitting behind rocks, guys, like, you're not going to spot them if there's hard cover there. So that's just me doing 2 + 2 = 4, running the ridge line, not spotting these guys. Okay, I know they're right in that corner. I'm going to use it to my advantage. and then always just put objects between you and the enemy. So put this rock in between them, and we go and fight the Sioux, we fight the CS, and Progetto and whoever else ends up cleaning these guys up anyway. So GG, man. 1371 damage, 1885 assists. So that's it. I just wanted to show you guys more of this middle area on El HALOOOF, whatever. Here's the emplates, 2k spotting, 1371 damage. I think there might have been a little blind spotting, right? Didn't I say it was like 1,000 something? It was 1885. So we got a couple hundred spotting there. Blind. And yeah, we're, it looks like top by experience here, middle by damage. And Progetto 46 played a really, really good game, man. I thought that play that he made was really kind of aggressive, but it really helped out because it gave me a lot of information to go on. And we end this game making 22k, guys. 13 shots fired, 10 pens, and 7-minute game, man. And we clean this team up rather quickly because, again, guys, we flanked, right? And we also were kind of winning the ABC 1-2-3, but I played it carefully. Bat Chat got wrecked out here, and we're able to flank. And when you're able to flank on any map, man, usually you're going to close out the game very quickly because it's just it's about working angles at that point. And people don't really have many places to go. Again, hiding behind this rock, and then we're just going to take advantage of that. Okay, they're hiding. Let's go and finish up the rest of the team. So that's it, guys. I hope you're able to learn from this, and I hope it helps you out on El HALOOOF. But this map, man, like, you got to be so freaking careful in this area of the map. Please, guys, like, this area of the map, really, like, look at it, understand how it's working, understand where people have the angles on you, and I think you'll be a little bit better off if you're struggling on El HALOOOF like I've done many, many times. Catch you guys for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.